My friends, if you need your washing machine settings explained, you are not alone. The choices have multiplied dramatically over the years, and the decision you make will significantly affect the longevity and cleanliness of what you're washing. In addition to choosing the temperature of the water, you got settings like cotton, casuals, delicates, wool, silk, permanent press, etc. But what does all this mean? Well, this is going to be a two-part video series, at least 2 parts. I'm going to release them back to back. I'm going to explain all these things, plus more, to ensure that your gear is always looking great. So when you do your laundry, you have 3 choices you have to make before you start the washer. Number 1 is load size, also known as water level. Number 2 is your water temperature. So most washers will have a little dial and it'll say warm, hot, cold. Some of the really fancy washing machines will allow you to digitally select the actual temperature number the same way you preheat an oven. And number 3 is your washing cycle. So this is your casuals, your cottons, your permanent press, your delicates, etc. So load size, pretty straightforward. How much stuff you washing? Typically your options range from small, medium, large, extra large. It's kind of like ordering pizza. Small is around 1/4 full, medium, half full, large, over half full, and extra large, or super on some washing machines, is you're filling the washing machine to full capacity. So water temperature. This is where we're going to be hanging out for most of this video, and it should be the most valuable for you. Water temperature is important because the hotter the water, the cleaner your clothes will be. But, there's a but, hot water can cause your fabric fibers to shrink, wear out faster, and also your colors to bleed or fade. Cold water, on the other hand, will protect those fabric fibers and help prevent those colors from bleeding or fading, but cold water doesn't clean quite as well. Now, warm water is a good compromise, but it's not for everything. Allow me to break down these 3 water temperatures for you in greater detail. Typically, cold water is used for dark colors that have a dye, could possibly fade or bleed out. It's also used for delicate fabrics or fabrics that you don't want to shrink, like those pair of jeans you're wearing. It's already too tight. You can hardly button them up. Or they're already too short and it looks like you're waiting for a flood. Cold water is also used for athletic apparel because hot water can damage the elasticity of the fabric. Cold water is also what you would select for clothes that are lightly soiled. So, meaning not that dirty. Meaning they don't need a deep clean. Another benefit of cold water is you save on your electric bill. You won't use as much energy. The downside of cold water is it's less effective when it comes to stain removal. It's also not very good at dissolving powdered detergents, which will leave white streaky residue on your clothes. It also won't sanitize clothes or bed sheets. Cold washes are considered anything from 15 to 26.7 degrees Celsius. That's 59 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Moving on to hot water. Now, hot water is best for clothes that are heavily soiled, meaning they're very dirty. It's also what you would use if you were trying to remove tough stains, specifically oil-based stains or water-based stains. Hot water is for your white cotton fabrics like your socks, your underwear, your kids' play clothes, or your really dirty work clothes. So the kind of stuff plumbers, farmers, mechanics would wear, right? You're not really worried about appearance too much with these clothes. You're just trying to get them clean because they're really dirty. Hot washes is also something you would use for high levels of bacteria. So clothes, bed sheets that was worn or used by someone who was ill. Hot water sanitizes items infected with bacteria, fungus. It also kills bugs. The downside of hot water, as I mentioned, it can cause clothes to bleed, fade, wear out faster. It causes those fabric fibers to wear out faster, and it can also cause clothes to shrink. Another thing I'll mention is hot water can cause protein-based stains to set further. So you never want to use hot water to clean a protein-based stain. Without going down a rabbit trail, there's 3 types of stains. oil-based stain, water-based stain, and protein-based stains over here. An example, a protein-based stain, feces, blood, sweat, baby formula, baby food, vomit. You never want to use hot water to clean protein-based stains because it'll just make them set further. So that's another video altogether. I'll go into that in another video. Right now I just want to keep this focused on washing machine settings. Hot washes are considered anything 54.4 degrees Celsius and above. That's 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Now warm water is your compromise. It's what you would use on your man-made fabrics, also known as synthetic fabrics. Your nylon, your polyester, spandex, rayon blends, etc. Now understand that your man-made fabrics, your synthetic fabrics, are not the same as your delicates. Delicates are things like silk, satin, lace, sheer fabrics like chiffon. Also, clothing that has beading, embroidery, or pleats would be considered delicate. Even heavier knitted items like different wools, such as cashmere, would be considered delicate because they shrink easily. So make sure you distinguish between your man-made synthetic fabrics and your delicate fabrics. Warm water is also great for your permanent press fabrics, also known as wrinkle-free. The downside of warm water, it's not the greatest on heavily soiled items. It doesn't sanitize. It's not very good at removing the oil-based stains, the water-based stains, but it does work better than cold water in those situations. And also warm water, it does dissolve the powdered detergents. So, like I said, warm water is your compromise. You just kind of have to play with it through trial and error. Also, you want to keep in mind, off the top of my head, warm water still can slightly fade colors, so just play with it. Trial and error, my friend, trial and error. Warm washes are considered anything from 32.2 to 43.3 Celsius. So that's 90 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's it, my friends. That is load size and water temperature explained for you. I hope it was valuable. In the next video, as I mentioned, I'll explain the washing cycles. Until next time though, if you found it valuable, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and hey, implement the steps I've outlined in this video. Or steps, I should say, implement the instructions, the knowledge I've equipped you with in this video, and you'll be well on your way to becoming the domesticated cleaning savage that I know you are.